In this episode, Grace the Blogger, a very loud music bot, Panic at the Disco, and Perky Pugs. So, just announcements off the top here. The podcast is still looking for a permanent co host, so if you're interested in being a permanent host, a guest host for an episode or two, or even participate in the community spotlights, you guys all know you can tweet me at Zephirah_Zella or join the Discord. Links for the Discord are in the show notes and on the blog. So if you were here in the Discord for the previous podcast, you all know that I have a music bot that plays music in the pre-show, but the bot runs a little loud. So I wanted to mention enjoy the music, but and also enjoy your hearing. So turn that bot down, right click on the username rhythm in the chat channel and turn it down. I recommend 10%, but whatever volume is comfortable for you is fine. So remember to do that, and I'll continue to remind you every week. That thing is loud. So diving right into the show, June's book of the month, Milk and Honey. The review will be available Friday, June the 1st. So the featured blog of the week. Let's make this obvious statement. I am very knee-deep into nerd culture and reading every other person's blog on the internet that we share the same interest is no exception. So, and I know I usually pick a Warcraft-inspired blog, however, there are so many different perspectives in the world that it would be a shame to overlook them. In my featured blog of the week, I chose Grace, and as nerdy as she has a very wide variety of topics that she covers, from treats to makeup, from books to movies, and everything nerdy in between. And it's actually quite refreshing to see such a clean layout on a blog and so many things, including Harry Potter, that I absolutely adore. I'm going to link her blog there. Now, as far as the, intro here had mentioned, Panic at the Disco. Yes, an actual thing that I listened to. Pray for the Wicked is the upcoming 6th studio album. Yes, 6. That's crazy to me. But that's going to be released on June 22nd. And the first single from the album, Say Amen, Saturday night, is actually a very catchy tune with some awesome music video to go alongside it. If you can't tell, I'm sort of excited about the release of the album. That's my short little blurb for the music stuff this week. So now with mid-show here, I did mention community spotlights at the top of the show. Friday, along with the book review, Ro is actually going to be joining me in the Discord and participating in the community spotlight. Yes, this will be audio. And yes, I'm going to put that in the video format on YouTube for the podcast. And that will be airing on the June 6th show. And speaking about Ro, if you're not following the man on Twitter, you should be. And he's running a poll. I'm going to link the poll there for you. So definitely take the time to answer it. It's actually very nice to see that question up there. So this is actually a good segue to get into the WoW Blizzard news segment. Is actually going to be a tribute to John Bain, commonly known as his online name is Total Abyss, tragically passed away at the young age of 33 by the hands of cancer. If you would like to do something and feel the need to, there are a few places that you can do that with. One of them being the Cancer Center of America, which on their website says they are committed to providing financial support to organizations, programs, and projects that advance the fight against cancer with special attention to those communities that they're in, with their employees and patients, and even where they live, work, and play. So I'm going to be posting that link. I would also like to shout out the Perky Pugs here that not only have they assisted hundreds of players attain their Spellwing mount from Heroic Argus, but every single dollar that they get for all the streaming partners, they go to St. Jude. And St. Jude, if you don't know, is a leading children's hospital pioneering in research and treatments for kids with cancer and other life-threatening diseases. So that's another way that you can help. If you're new to the blog or podcast and just happen to be living under the Warcraft rock in Stormwind, then you wouldn't know that the last Wednesday of every month I like to collect the in-game events for the upcoming month. So the Dark Moon Fair is from the 3rd to the 9th, along with it sort of falls in here too, the Legion Dungeon event, which is June 5th through the 11th. The 1,000 Boat Bash, June 6th to the 8th. My favorite week. Pet Paddle Bonus Week event is June 12th to the 18th. Then we have some PvP coming up after, which is the South Shore versus Terran Mill, June 12th to the 18th. The Cataclysm Time Walking Dungeon event from the 19th to June 25th. And then finally for this month is the Midsummer Fire Festival, which is June 21st to July 3rd, which I did post that to the blog with Wowhead links. I don't want to steal the Wowhead material, but they have really good things that can sort of guide you and direct you through all that. So definitely take a look at all of those. So I'm going to do my shout outs as quickly as possible. And there's a weekly podcast called All Things Azeroth, and they have a question of the week that I usually participate in. This week's question was, what content creator, Blizzard related or otherwise, would you like to give a special shout out to? Now, my answer is quite simple, and I am definitely going to be using that answer for this week's shout out. So other than the crew from All Things Azeroth being the obvious, very, very obvious answer, I would actually like to shout out the Game Case for having me on my first podcast a while ago. We actually, in that episode, talked about roleplay, and you don't necessarily need to be on a roleplay server to do that. And also for him showing me that I had the potential to do such creative things. Also for Draven, I know I say his name wrong every time, for also inviting me on his show for the same reasons. For Frasley, for teaching me that even though you make mistakes, you power through them and learn from them and be a better person for it. And talking about the co-hosting duo here, Ben and John from Azeroth Roundtable, for being a very good pair and having the ability to have different opinions and still able to have a great and entertaining set of conversations. For Barf, not only being the lead greeter in charge for Convert to Raid, but for being one of the biggest supporters and giving the best advice possible. And Sal, just because she's the best shaman ever and one of the sweetest ladies I know. And lastly, Faro, for putting together everything for the World of Podcast and all that for BlizzCon. So, thank you.